Hey guys, welcome to the class, and today we're talking about big pot boiling. It might seem like a simple one, it is literally cooking vegetables, but doing this for cooking straight away at home or cooking for meal prep is going to change it slightly, but this is really going to destroy going out to eat because you're just going to see the faults that are going on in the kitchen straight away. So the first thing we need to do is boil the kettle or boil up some water, which I've already done, and then we're just going to prep. For this one, I'm going to do broccoli. So this really is about green vegetables. You want to keep them green, you want to keep them fresh, vibrant, lock in those nutrients, and there's tips and tricks to do that. And it's pretty much about fast cooking, fast chilling. So fast cook, fast chill, you've got it sorted. So I've just run the knife through my broccoli and you can see that the edges like that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I used to work in a Michelin star restaurant and we would take that off on a mandolin really fine and then pickle it. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. So it's just going to take a bit longer to cook. But just so it's nice, I'm just going to trim it off, and then because we want it to be nice and even so it cooks evenly, I'm just going to trim it. You can even use a peeler just to thin it down so it really does cook that much more even. So that piece is fine. Just trim it off just so it looks better really. It's going to look nicer on the plate. This one, massive root, so we can split that down. So they're all pretty much the same size. So that is that. So either boil the water on the stove, boil the kettle, whichever works. The kettle is generally quicker, and what you want is a decent pan of water, because the one thing that you don't want to happen is, say this has just come out of the fridge, it's going to be cold. So when you drop it in your boiling water, it's going to reduce the temperature of the water, and that is not what you want. You want it to boil rapidly, going to keep it really green, and you're going to have more control over its cook. Because if the temperature drops, what will happen is these bits will start cooking, but the heat isn't penetrating the core, and that means this is all going to overcook by the time this part's cooked. So unless you're making soup, it isn't great, and it's not even great for soup. So because you're going to lose the color. And if you go and check out the broccoli video, that isn't even photoshopped. That is actually the way it is. It is vibrant green, and that's what you're going to see here. So this is up to the boil, but we want a rolling boil. You want a hard boil. Okay, so it's almost boiling, and then I've got some salt here. Just going to add my salt and check it out. So this boil is what we're looking for, nice, solid, rolling boil. Tip number 3, cook in batches. Don't try and cook it all in one go because the temperature is going to drop. If you've got a lot to do, use a bigger pot. So this can go in. Generally, for broccoli, I'm going to cook for 4 minutes. Other things, green beans, asparagus, probably 3 minutes, but obviously it depends on their thickness. So small batches, you don't want to have any stacking. You just want to have one even layer. So I could fit a few more pieces in here, but this is going to fit in my next batch, so there's really no need. Okay, so while my broccoli's cooking, it's time for tip number 4, ice water. That's what we want to chill that down. We want rapid chilling. So I've got a big bowl of water here. It's going to come out of there and go straight into this. This is what you want to do, especially if you're meal prepping, because after a couple of days you're just going to lose that color. So if it's for later that day, you could just put it in the water and it will probably hold its color. But if it's for tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, what anyone tells you, ice water is the way that you want to do it, and go heavy with the ice water. What can be a good idea for your ice water is just grab a couple of plastic containers, fill them up with water, stick them in the freezer, and then you can just pop those ice blocks out when you need it. So this is really, really cold, so that's just going to shock it instantly, and that is really going to lock in that colour and all those nutrients. So it's been 3.5 minutes, so I'm just going to check this. I'm going to use these for meal prepping, so these should be bang on. You want it to be a little bit crispy, and then straight into the ice water, because you're going to microwave this hot, so it's going to cook again. So once you've got the cook that you want, then straight into the ice bath, and then in with your next batch. If your stove is really slow and you're struggling to get a rapid boil on it, stick a lid on it, and that's just going to keep all that heat inside. That steam will keep that water hot, and then you're going to get a rolling boil. So if you're struggling to get the boil, bang a lid on it, and then you can set your timer. So my 3.5 minutes is almost up on my second batch, and I've hardly got any ice in here. So I'm just going to add some more. You can check our broccoli. The knife's going into that nicely, so that can come out straight into the ice water. That is it. You want to give it at least 3 to 4 minutes in the ice water to really make sure. Just because it's cold on the outside doesn't mean inside is. So just give that 3 to 4 minutes to cool, and then we're going to sit it over a sieve for at least 10 minutes before we portion it away. If you're going to go straight into your containers, from here you could leave it here for a minute and then you put it in. What will happen is all the water that's caught up in here is going to sink to the bottom, and that liquid is what's going to turn a little bit funky. So you really want to get rid of any excess water that isn't actually part of the vegetable. So leave it to drain until it's completely dry, and then you can store it away in your plastic containers. So just look at the colour of this. I'm always asked at work, like as a meal prep chef, how do I keep my vegetables super green? And that is the answer. Boiling hot, add salt, fast cook, fast chill. And that's it. It really is that simple, but it's just a tip that's missed all of the time. So give it a go, and I'll see you in the next class. I've just given my vegetables enough time to drain, and this is the amount of water that is actually in there. So that would all just start stinking and make my beautiful green broccoli go off beforehand. So just look at the colour of that.